I did not have any sort of support in high school. I had my friends were wonderful, but there was no one that I could confide in. There was no one that could help me figure out who I was until I had to figure it out on my own.
Amen.
And what we figured out since then, this is like 25, I'm dating myself now. But what we know now is we, as adults, have a tremendous opportunity to help out the others in our community. And the support that I have seen come in and out of this door right there is absolutely fantastic. So I wanted to thank everyone for being here for today, because this is just going to be a wonderful day. We've got a lot of surprises. We have a huge announcement to make. Can I give a little bit of anything? None? I can give nothing?
Wait till the video.
Can I just say, I could probably say that it's someone very famous
That
will be
say.
coming.
Yes.
Could I say that?
Yes.
Okay. I won't. Screw it. I won't say it. But what we want to do right now is spend a couple of minutes to focus on our supporters, because we could not be here today without the tremendous support. So I would like to welcome to the stage our representative in the state of Illinois, Mike Halpin, who has been wonderful.
Thank you, Eric. Can everybody hear me okay, or do I need to get a little closer? I don't want to mess it up. But that's a little bit louder, and I'm sorry to hunch over, but I have a little bit of height. I just want to say thank you first for the invitation to be here and to just say a few words in support. I can't tell you how proud I am of everyone who is associated with running, Clock Inc., everyone who helps others here in this building, and especially I'm so proud of the entire community for its support of an organization such as this. I run into a lot of people down in Springfield that I don't see eye to eye with on many of the issues that we will face in this room. And I am so excited at the end of every week in Springfield when I get to come back home to Rock Island and know that there's a place like this for people that need it. And so I just want to first give yourselves all a round of applause, please. And it does seem like only yesterday that we were here cutting the ribbon and having the grand opening. And what I think I said then was, in a world, especially on a national level, in a world where there's so much bullying going on, and there's so much, at the top level, encouraging that kind of bullying behavior of people, I am glad to be back here in the state of Illinois and the city of Rock Island, where we're pushing back and fighting back against that. I want to say that I wish you another year, another 5 years, another 25 years advocating here in this community. And I want to let you know that I am an ally in Springfield for you. And I want to make you aware of one particular piece of legislation that's going to be coming up this year. We're trying to make it easier for folks whose identity does not match their birth certificate to have that changed in the state of Illinois. Make sure you can do that without necessarily having to. As far as I know what that bill number is, I'll be sharing it with Chase and with the others here, and make sure that you file a witness slip in support, send letters to other representatives and senators to make sure we can make that a reality, and just eliminate that one more hurdle for allowing folks to be who they are. So thank you again for having me. I wish you the best of luck again. Here's to another year, another 25 years or more. Thank you.
We're so blessed to have support in Springfield. We're also very blessed to have the support in Washington, D.C. And one of the great things about Clock Inc. is we are literally attached to the office of our Congresswoman, Cheri Bustos. She could not be here today, but a representative from her office, Kate Jennings, will take the stage and talk about what we're doing in Washington.
Thank you. And I'll just say, I do have a letter from the Congresswoman. She wishes she could be here, but she's traveling today. But we really just enjoy having Chase and everyone here as our neighbors. They've brought some real life and vibrancy to our office and this area, which it was strongly lacking before. So just really happy that you're here and continue to have you here as good neighbors. Dear friends, thank you for inviting me to the 1-year anniversary of Clock Inc. I regret that I'm unable to join you. However, I wanted to take this time to thank you and to recognize the work of this remarkable organization. In just 1 year, Clock Inc. has completed incredible work for the LGBTQ+ community in the Quad Cities. You offer a place of inclusion, refuge, and positivity for individuals who often feel overlooked and alone. As your representative in Congress, I fight every day to ensure that each person in our district has a voice and the same opportunities to succeed. Therefore, I'm honored to support an organization like Clock Inc. that furthers this work and makes life better for so many individuals in our community. Thank you once again for inviting me to share this day with you, and for all the work that Clock Inc. has done for the Quad Cities. Organizations like this make me especially proud to serve Illinois' 17th Congressional District, and I look forward to celebrating your work and anniversaries for years to come. Sincerely, Sherry Bustos.
I started talking about a story about when I was a kid, and you know, when we talk about Clock Inc., this isn't, we do a lot for adults and adults that are coming out later in life, but a lot of this has to do with the kids who are growing up and who are living this every day. They're living their truth, which is a really, really amazing and valuable thing. The more kids that live their truth, the more valuable our community will be. So I'd like to take this time to welcome to the stage some of our kids, and I have your names written down. Alex Foster, Teddy White, and Hannah Sego to come up here to the stage and talk about this conference.
But thank you. All right. So I'm Hannah Sego. I'm the co-president of the Youth Advisory Board. And what we do really is we plan events like for the youth. So one of our upcoming events we're working on is a fundraiser, which in turn will lead to us working on a homecoming, which will be a dance that will allow for LGBT youth to feel safe and just have a fun time, you know? Give them an environment where they are able to be themselves. And the reason why we have this opportunity to do this is because Clock just gives us everything that we want. Not everything we want. We don't have a ball pit yet. But it's given me everything I need. Before Clock, I was terrified of everything. I felt as if I had nothing going for me in this world. And Clock has taught me so much. It's taught me skills that I can use like further in life. It's taught me how to lead. It's taught me how to love. And it's just taught me how to be myself. And I wouldn't be here without Clock. So I'm gonna take a little page from this musical I saw the other day, thanks to Clock, and thanks to Circa 21, and say, Clock Inc. is by far the most beautiful thing in the world.
Hello, my name is Teddy. I'm 18 years old, and I started coming to Clock in October, right before my birthday. And even though I haven't been here for too terribly long, less than 6 months, this place has made such a huge difference in my life. I got involved very quickly here. In fact, my first day, I think, I signed up for the Youth Advisory Board, and now I'm co-president with Hannah. I signed up for their drag workshop, and I had such a blast at that. And I also come to their music therapy sessions that they have on Mondays. So the Clock and the Youth Advisory Board plan these really awesome and fun events, and I'm so grateful that I have the chance to be involved with that. Even though it adds a little bit more onto my plate, I enjoy the food nonetheless. But Clock is a place where I feel not only accepted, but also wanted. And I feel safe instead of judged, and you can't get that everywhere. So this is an amazing place, and I'm so glad I came. because here I've been able to meet and do so many wonderful things. So thank you, and thank you, Chase.
Hello, my name is Alexander Foster. I am 19 years of age, and Clock plays a huge role in my life. I am part of the original group members back when Clock was just a youth group. I've been here since the very beginning. I got a call from Chase one day around August 20th, 2019, asking if I wanted a position on the board of directors. I was extremely excited and was so ecstatic to have this new responsibility to make decisions in regards for Clock and her future. My position on the board is Programs Committee Chair. I help plan events, and I helped establish the Youth Advisory Board that these two were just talking about. Clock has helped me become more social. Clock has helped me find value in my life. One day I hope to be as great of an influential man as Chase is and help people like he has helped me. Thank you all for your time.
So not only are these the future leaders of our community, they're already leading an example here at Clock today. And that's one of the great things about Clock is we have kids who have this integral part in how this operation is. The next person I'd like to invite to the stage, I've known for several years. She and her husband are so fundamental to the LGBTQ community as allies. And I had the opportunity to work with Jane Teach in a different life over at another organization. And I was so happy when I got to come here to be on the board of Clock, and I got to be here with my friend Jane Teach.
Sorry, I need Cliff Notes. As Eric said, my name is Jane Teach, and my husband and I have been involved in the Pride community here in the Quad Cities for probably over 30 years together. You've heard a lot already today about what happens at Clock and what's involved, but I want to tell you some of the things that I've seen. I've seen parents who have walked in looking for information and for resources. I've seen teenage and young adults who may be strangers walk in and not know anybody and walk out as friends. I see support for those who are coming out later in life. I've seen collaboration with other nonprofit organizations by hosting space here. We've had clothing drives for other nonprofit organizations, hygiene drives, and a shameless plug on May 7th, we're having a pet food drive, and the pet food that's being collected is going to go to the Quad City Veterans Marketplace, a place where veterans can go and get food and pet items for their homes. I've seen and heard about businesses, churches, and schools who have called Chase and asked for coming in and doing an in-service meeting so that they have the resources to help their members or their employees. And I have one story I'd like to share. A few weeks ago, we had an open mic night, and there was a mom that came in with 3 youth, and they were having difficulty in talking to us about what they needed, and they didn't know where to go, and they didn't know how to find binders. And so what did Chase do? Chase walked over, lifted up the lid of the steps, which we have storage in there, and there's binders of every size that is imaginable. So these 3 youth took different binders, went back to the bathroom to try them on, and the next thing you can hear are screams. And the mom's here, she goes tearing back, and the kids come out, no booze. And they were in tears, and it was, we were all in tears, because it was just so amazing that they finally found someplace to go. It was just amazing to see this happen. So what have I seen at Clock? I've seen tears, I've seen trust, I've seen love, but most of all, I've seen compassion. And I think compassion tops it all. Thank you.
Even though we're a fantastic group of people and this is a great space, this space would not exist if we didn't have the ability to pay the bills and come up with ideas and see these to fruition. We would really love it if Mid-America would allow us to not pay but we have to do that. There's rent of this space. So it takes everyone, it takes a community to put all of this together. So I'd like to bring Becky Castaneda up. She is our treasurer extraordinaire. And I think you may touch on it a little bit, that the money that people give goes to a really, really great cause.
Yeah. Well, I need cliff notes too, so don't worry, Jane. All right. My name, as Eric mentioned, is Becky Castaneda. I'm the treasurer here on the board for CLOC. And first, I want to thank everyone for coming out today. What we do here would be impossible without the support, and I think it's very clear that we have the village that we need behind us. So, when Chase asked me to speak, I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about because there have been so many things that have happened here in the last year. I mean, everyone's kind of mentioned it, but it's been incredible. No matter what I started to write, I came up with 3 main points. Why I started coming to CLOC and being a part of CLOC, why I stay that way, and why I will continue to always be that way. I got offered a position on the board and accepted immediately. You know, who wouldn't want to be a part of something so cool? This is something that provides a service that is desperately needed in the Quad Cities. And I wanted to be a part of a force that was coming through because I knew it was going to be. I'm still a part of CLOC because I see the impact it has had on the people who come in here. I personally have seen a change in my teenager at home, Orion. Yeah. The last few years of trying to figure out who he is have not been easy for either one of us, I don't think. After coming to CLOC, he smiled again, and that was something that we hadn't seen in those few years. Knowing that other kids are going through the same thing has a huge impact on how our kids walk through life. I know that we're not the only ones who have seen that change at home, and that's something pretty powerful. And then that brings me to my final point, why I will always be a part of CLOC. With all of the hate flying around in our world, it's nice to see somewhere that, you know, we have greater forces like good. What we've built here over the last year can only get better, and that's what we're hoping for. It can only grow if we keep the same sentiments in mind, spreading love and not hate. CLOC is spreading love and patience. It's spreading understanding and community. I mean, look at everyone here from all parts of our community. We're all here for one cause, right? Just to spread good. And honestly, I can't wait to see what we grow to be. Thank you all again so much for coming, and keep helping us spread love and not hate.
Before I bring Chase up, I wanted to talk a little bit about, we all have a different personal journey, and I think that's the crazy cool thing about the LGBTQ community, is each person's story is different. Someone who comes out as pan, or bi, or gay, or as a lesbian, each story is different. I came out when I was 18 years old. I did not have a trans friend until very recently. In my job, communicating the weather, I'm always making discovery, okay? And one of the discoveries that I was able to make through Chase and through Paula, who's on the board, were this understanding of where other people are. And I think too many of us come up with a kind of a foundation of what we think we know. I learned from a sociologist once that very few of us know a lot about a lot of different things. We know a little about a lot of different things. But even though we know a little, we have big opinions on them. And we need to be careful with that, because we may not know enough to make a right determination. And so, a person who I will probably owe a lot for the rest of my life for helping me figure that out, is our executive director, Chase Norris, whose dream this became a reality. Chase, come on up.
I'm short. Thank you all for coming. I know I'm going to miss a lot of people in my speech, but we would literally be here all day, and I know a lot of you just really want to know about September's event.
Who's it gonna be?
Not Eric.
Well, there's
Mike,
that.
thank you again for being a tremendous support and for speaking. Kate, wherever Kate went. Thank you. I make a lot of noise. I have a lot of kids yelling on Thursdays, and they deal with that very well. I want to thank our sponsors, the Doris and Victor Day Foundation. Dave, I know he's over there. The moment I got connected with the city of Rock Island, Dave saw my vision, my dream, and he advocated for us, and that launched this support from Rock Island, the Hubble Waterman Foundation, Bechtel Trust, QC Community Foundation. There's a bunch more, but thank you to our sponsors who help keep our lights on and our doors open. I cannot believe, literally, it's been a year. That's crazy. It went by very, very fast. But I am very excited to announce that in our first year, we served more than 1,700 people. And we raised, Chinese grand opening, because I couldn't count that high. In 1 year, we raised $89,000. I want to thank my family, my father, who we're not going to make eye contact right now, for everything. He built the stage, the racks, the shelves, the TV stand. He made the lid on the steps open. I talk to him about every morning, and he gets to hear all of my venting and stress, and I'm done, I'm over it, I can't do it, I can't figure it out, and says at the same time, you need to keep going, this is what you're meant to do, you'll figure it out, and I usually do. My grandmother and Bill for always believing in me and letting me know that I had the confidence to do so. My grandmother came from Florida.
Yeah.
She's cool. I want to thank the rest of my family for coming. They're all scattered around, but they came from Chicago and Pekin to come, and so thanks for coming. It's normally not like this every day. I want to thank Sean and Kevin for decorating. I came in yesterday and this was all done, and so they did a phenomenal job, so thank you for all of that. I think I saw her walk in, but Teresa is one of our moms. She is always volunteering. I cannot count how many times she has organized the back room, and then the next week I have trashed it and goes back and redoes it. She drives around all over putting our posters out and talks to everybody and promotes us to anyone who's willing to listen. Ron for taking all of our pictures, which are all up there if you have time. You should look at those. And especially thank you for taking the best pictures of people eating and the pictures of Becky in the middle, so everyone look at the Becky collage. All of our volunteers for events, running groups, that has been a tremendous help. A good friend of mine reached out to the cast of Kinky Boots from Circa, and the last 2 weeks they have been coming to group for our high school kids. They wanted to get involved, they wanted to see what we were doing, they wanted to do a workshop for the kids, and they made the mistake of asking them what they wanted because they wanted to drag workshop. Have fun. But Circa 21 donated tickets for us to take our kids, and we took them Friday. I don't even know what date it is today. Friday. And then, which was awesome. They had a blast, but after the show, we got to go up. They got to meet the rest of the cast. They got to ask questions. That was awesome. Heather, my roommate. Literally, my roommate. I am stressed 90% of the time. Most people don't get to see that. Heather does. And I'm a lot to take in. But even when I'm discouraged, pushes me to keep going and never complains about dealing with my animal kingdom at home. I have never been on a board. I didn't know much about nonprofits until I opened one, but I've never been on a board, so I don't know what real other boards are like, but my board is awesome. I don't know how involved other board members are, but my board they're at every meeting. We do 2 meetings a month on Saturdays. They're always here. They come to groups, events, planning, meetings, you name it, they do it. Megan, who is our president, I don't think she's here because she's like hours or minutes from having a baby, which is our first Clark baby. I was watching a video from a year ago today of us literally opening the door for the first time and Megan climbing up on the window and ripping the for lease sale down, or lease sign off the window. I would not have made it this far without her. I have a lot of crazy ideas and she makes them happen more effectively than me processing that. Becky, you literally do so much. You listen to me vent a lot. You are always here setting up for events. You bring your entire children and make them, and then their friends help. You help process all of these ideas that I want to do and how to execute them properly, and you fix everything technology-wise that I break. Amy, who is our secretary, is the biggest hype squad I've ever met. She goes to all the schools, she gives brochures out, she promotes Clark, she comes to the parents group, she leads that. She's amazing. Candy, who is not able to be here, I'm pretty sure she's literally in the air flying right now. She's one of our biggest promoters. She loves these kids just as much as I do. She's got very limited free time, but when she's not working, she's here, and she's being a big part of who we are today. Eric, you met him. He does the weather. You got it right today. I have also decided that when we have bad weather, it's because Eric controls it. Eric came to me last October to do a segment on National Coming Out Day, and he does breakfast with, and he does a bunch of different topics and locations. Probably the only person to get me out of bed and go live on camera at 4 a.m. But the first time he walked in and we were chatting, he had great visions and ideas, and I knew I wanted him to be on our team, and so I pitched that to the board, and there was no question. He's got so many ideas. He's so passionate about what we do. He was here for our career workshop. He is awesome. Jane, I don't know where Jane went. Jane is a godsend. She's got incredible ideas, and she works all day. She still manages her household, and in between breaks is making every phone call just to find a venue for a location, organizations, everything. Most people know that I don't like talking on the phone, and I don't normally answer. But Jane calls everybody, and she is always excited to be a part of what we're doing and to make things bigger and better. I cannot thank you enough. Alex, we're not gonna make eye contact because we know it happened at grand opening. This kid's awesome. He is, I don't know if he just celebrated or is about to, 9 months on testosterone. That's huge. He was who I created all of this for, and I knew once he turned 18, I was gonna make him a board member, and so the board did not push anything, and they had no issues. He was on the board. I've seen so much growth and leadership, and he's working with the youth board and the other kids, and it's awesome to see. My kids, they're great. There's no cooler feeling than when I watch a kid walk in with their parent for the first time to group, and they don't want their prepared to leave. They don't know anybody. And by the end of the night, their parent is dragging them out, like, we need to go now. It's 40 minutes past group, let's go. But they are so much more confident in themselves, their support system. I think Bettendorf is the only school duplicate that we have. Every other kid goes to another school, and they all hang out together. They go and do a bunch of different stuff. I've gotten a lot of pictures from parents of kids just piling in their living room, which is great, because then they can destroy their couches. Just the amount of growth I've seen in these kids. They're finding themselves. They go from being super quiet to being on the youth board. They're finding their voice. They are so much more confident in their self-expression, their self-esteem. Hannah, we're not gonna make eye contact. You good? I've seen so much leadership that she's taken on. She's a co-president. She's here probably just as much as I am. And I'm so impressed by the confidence that you have. And anytime somebody new walks in the door, she drops what she's doing. She goes and greets them, introduces them to the other kids, gets them involved. This kid's gonna change the world, and you will at some point beat Ellen in the top lesbian position. I have no doubt about that. But thank you all again for coming, showing your support. It's been an awesome year. Let's do it bigger and better. If you've got time before you go, there's Sharpies. Sign the steps, top or bottom. Put your mark on where we're at, because I don't care, whenever we move, I'm taking that with me. But thank you all again for coming. We have a video to recap our first year, and maybe you'll find out about September.